It's kind of wild when you stop and think about it. There's this massive contradiction at the heart of being human. Scientifically, we're all one species, period. But we live in this world that's just shattered into a million different conflicting pieces. So the big question is, how on earth did we get here? Well, it all boils down to a really simple, almost poetic truth. We all come from the same soil, right? We're all in the same kind of body, this biological machine, and we all get this one short, precious shot at life. It's a really beautiful and, you'd think, a really unifying idea. But, and this is the big but, that beautiful idea immediately brings up a really uncomfortable question. If we all come from the same place, the same soil, why are we so good at building walls between us? Why do we live like we're complete strangers to each other, or, even worse, enemies? That's exactly what we're going to dive into today. All right, section 1, one species, many worlds. So let's get right into it. Where does this massive disconnect come from? We're going to start by looking at this huge clash between what's biologically true for all of us and the separate little worlds we've built. Just look at this. It's so stark. On one hand, you've got the stuff that's true for every single one of us. We're all born the same way, we all bleed the same color red, and we all return to the same earth. That's our shared reality. But then look at the other side. Religion, caste, race, borders, these aren't natural. These are lines we drew. They're totally human inventions. So that brings us to section 2, our shared biological truth. You might be thinking, okay, that's a nice philosophical point, but what does the actual science say? Let's look at the hard facts. What does our biology have to say about all these lines we've drawn in the sand? Okay, get ready for this. This one number, it pretty much says it all. 99.9%. That is how much of our DNA is identical. Yours, mine, everyone's on the entire planet. So all those differences we get so hung up on, skin color, the shape of our eyes, you name it, genetically, they're basically nothing. Just a tiny, tiny fraction of the whole story.
Let me put it another way. Science just doesn't see our labels. Seriously, there's no such thing as Christian blood or Muslim lungs. You can't look at Hindu bones under an X-ray or find a Jewish heart during surgery. It's just not a thing. Our bodies are running on a biological program that's way, way older than any of our beliefs. Nature didn't invent these categories. We did.
Okay, section 3, the brain survival code. So if this stuff isn't in our biology, then where in the world does it come from? Well, the answer isn't in our blood. It's in our heads. We're talking about an ancient survival code that's literally hardwired into our brains. And there's a name for it: evolutionary tribalism. Think about it. For most of human history, your survival depended on one thing: knowing who was in your group, your us, and who wasn't, a potential them. It was a mental shortcut to stay safe. And here's the catch. Our world is global now, but that ancient software, it's still running in the back of our minds. It's shaping everything from who we vote for to the echo chambers we live in online. And this explains how even the best ideas can turn into walls. Look at this process. Step 1, it starts with something good, like a moral compass, a religion that guides you. Step 2, it gives you a community, a sense of belonging and safety. But then, step 3, that community becomes your identity. And once it's your identity, that's when our ancient tribal brain kicks in. Step 4, it becomes a tool to separate us from them. And that's often used for power. You see this exact pattern play out everywhere, not just religion, but with nations, political parties, even something as simple as your favorite sports team. The underlying instinct is exactly the same. All right, section 4, when beliefs become walls. Now, to really see how this works in the real world, let's just break it down with a simple, but I think a really powerful story. It's about what happens when our very human needs crash right into the beliefs we've built up. So picture this. There's a village, but it's totally divided, split right down the middle by 2 different belief systems. They share the same patch of dirt, but they might as well be living on different planets. They're so separated by their own rules and traditions. But then, a drought hits, and the one well that everyone in the village needs, it starts to run dry. And all of a sudden, all their arguments about whose god the well belongs to, they just go silent. Why? Because something way more powerful and universal takes over: a shared thirst. Suddenly, their common humanity, their basic need for water, is the only thing that matters. Yeah, in that moment of crisis, maybe a child is sick and needs water. All those labels just melt away.
They're not two different groups anymore. They're just people, humans, working together to survive. And they get this powerful reminder of a truth that was there all along. Humanity has to come first.
And that's really the core lesson, isn't it? Nature doesn't care about our labels, not one bit. Water doesn't ask what your religion is before it quenches your thirst. Hunger doesn't check your caste before it hits you. Only we do that. Only humans care about those things.
Okay, this brings us to our final section, humanity before the label. And this is where we get to the most important point of all. It's about peeling back all those layers we've added on and just remembering what's really at the core of it all. And I want you to ask yourself this, honestly. When disaster strikes, I'm talking a fire, a flood, any real crisis, what saves you? Is it your label? Does your religion or your nationality pull you from the rubble? No, it's another person, another human being reaching out a hand. And in that moment, you're not asking them what they believe. Because when you boil everything else away, you're left with the absolute fundamentals of being. Think about it. Before you were given a religion, you are a breath. Before you were assigned a caste, you are a heartbeat. And long before any border was drawn on a map to name you, the earth itself held you, just the same as anyone else. These are the real truths that connect every single one of us.
Because you were human before you were anything else. Every label, every identity, every single division. All of that stuff came later. It was added on. The first thing you were, the thing that can't be changed, is human. And, maybe just remembering that. Maybe that's the first real step toward looking at a stranger and not seeing a them, but seeing another part of us.